a nice big.
Heck yeah. Never stop, forget it if I want it. Gotta make to myself what I want. So won't quit, keep going till I got it.
Well, let's look at this big giant.
Till I'm on top.
What's going on, guys? Bassin' Out Mafia here, coming at you with a new video for this week. In this week's video, I'm going to show you how to get prepared for a tournament. I got my first tournament of the 2023 fishing season coming up this weekend, so I figured it'd be a great opportunity to show you guys how I prepare and how I make sure I'm ready and how I make sure I got everything I need. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. So as you see here, I got a big old pile of crap, and what I did was I went through and sorted out all my soft plastics because I had a big mess of stuff from the summer still in here, and most of that stuff is not what we're going to be using right now or this time of year. So got that out to save some weight. Also went through all my crankbaits here, made sure I had all the deeper grabbing crankbaits that I want, and of course I got some top water in there, but we're not going to be throwing that in March. Got some of my flat sides in here in case they're up shallow or anything. Got even a couple shad wrap style baits and a bunch of deep divers. Then, of course, I got all my hooks and weights in that box. And I got my jerk baits here. Jerk baits are another great thing for the month of March. So I made sure I had all my good colors in them. All my shad colors since we're going to Marburg. And I even got some of my blade baits in here. Then, of course, I got all my rattle traps. Went through all of them, made sure I had all the right colors that I needed. This time of year, I like to swap between crawl colors and shad colors. So I made sure I had a little bit of everything in them. Then we got the spinnerbait box here. Got a little bit of everything in there, but spinnerbait's always a good option for March and for getting reaction bites out of fish, so always gotta have to have them along. You never know when you're gonna need them. And of course, we got old trusty chatterbaits. Tons and tons of jackhammers in here. Just loaded with jackhammers. Got some mini maxes too and some Project Z's, but mostly all jackhammers. And of course, March is one of my favorite times to throw chatterbait and start throwing the chatterbait. So we gotta have them. Got all the fire crawl colors like I was talking about the other day in the last video. And got some shad colors. Just like the crankbaits, I'll probably run through both of them depending on what they end up wanting or not wanting. And then of course I got some jigs just in case I need to slow down a little bit. I got a bunch of big football heads because typically they're going to be around rocks and stuff this time of year, and some hard cover. I got some swim jigs and stuff, and a little bit of everything that I need in there. And what this really does, and going through doing this really does, is keeps you from having to look for stuff or root through your boat trying to hunt for stuff when you're in the middle of a tournament. When you're in the middle of a tournament, you want to conserve the most amount of time you can to fishing. You don't want to be messing around with baits. You don't want to be screwing around looking for stuff for 10-15 minutes. You want all that time to be focused on trying to catch fish, especially if you're trying to make some money. You got to be real smart with your time on the water, and this is one of the best ways that I try to do that. I will also go through all my rods. Now, of course, I don't have them sitting right here. They're sitting on the boat there behind us. But I will go through all my rods, make sure all the line's good, make sure none of them need new line. If they need new line, I'll put new line on. I'll run through maybe the first 50-60 yards of my line, make sure there's no nicks in it or anything, because the last thing you want to do is get a big fish on and have him come off because you got a nick in your line. I will also, since we're in March, now I didn't say this in my video, just mostly because I think you guys already know I throw the Alabama rig a ton. So got all my Alabama rig stuff in this box, in this bag as well. And of course all my soft plastics here. Even got a little bit of extra line just in case if I need it. And got the old smelly jelly. Keeping it in a Ziploc baggie because this stuff is nasty. Then next, once I've gone through all my rods and made sure all my line's good, I will go through and tie on all the lures that I think I'm going to use for that day, which in this next coming up situation, it's going to be a lot of the baits that I talked about in my March fishing video and what you should throw. So if you haven't watched that yet, watch that. I will pop it up right here. And within that, like I said, you're going to have the jerk bait, possibly a rattle trap, crankbait. I always have an A-rig tied on, especially in cold water months. And I'll probably have a spinnerbait tied on as well. Maybe even a jig or a Ned, something a little bit slower, just in case they ain't on the moving kick. But typically this time of year, you're going to be getting them on moving baits and reaction style baits because they're going to be active and feeding a lot of the time. And they're trying to get fat and fed up before the spawn, because we got that coming right around the corner as well. But that's just a little bit of how I get prepared for a tournament and what helps keep me in the right mindset while I'm on the water, so I'm not worrying about other stuff and worrying about where things are, and I can focus on catching fish and doing what I need to do instead. If you guys like this one, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next one. We are at 1,000 subscribers now. We finally hit 1,000 subscribers, so we are going to do that fishing reel giveaway. The lucky winner that gets to go home with the new bait cast reel of their choice, being in either a SLX or a Proficiency ATK Crazy, is Rob Weinmiller. So Rob Weinmiller, please give me a message on one of my social media pages and we will work out how we can get that to you and which one you want. But with that being said, we're going to have another giveaway coming up. As soon as we get to 1,500 subscribers, we're going to do another giveaway, and we'll have more details on that once we get closer. But hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the next one. We'll see you next Thursday.